good evening. Well, it is here and now, but whenever you have to be watching this, good afternoon or good morning, whichever is appropriate. So today I am bringing you another video. This one is focusing on the solar plexus chakra. That is located around here. So your upper belly area, just below your lungs, there's a diaphragm, big strong muscle, and your solar plexus chakra sits in this area. And correspondingly, around the same area in the back of the spine. Now the solar plexus is responsible for your confidence and happiness and self-esteem. And when it's in balance, you have peace with yourself and with life. When it's blocked or off balance, you can very often suffer with gastric and digestive problems and feel like you're generally out of control, you've got no willpower, all those kinds of things. So today we are going to go through a practice that will hopefully bring it into balance, maybe unblock it for you if it's feeling a little bit unhappy. And so to unblock your chakra, you can either take part in a practice like the one we're going to do today, go for a walk, do a bit of sunbathing, some meditating, and also putting the time into yourself to heal from your past traumas and anything that's been worrying you and nagging at you. They're all going to have an effect on your lovely solar plexus, and that in turn will then potentially throw everything else out of balance. So I'm going to move back onto my mat. We're going to move through relatively gentle practice today. It's going to include some twisting. We're going to start standing, and then we'll move down to sitting, then move in through prone, supine, finish off with some savasana and a nice little relaxation at the end. So, once I've got warmed up, the jumper will come off. Okay. I'm going to take the arms up, reach really high, breathing in, and then slowly lowering them down and taking the breath out, taking them in front. Another one here. Lovely. Opening out the front of the body, so taking the arms back. Bringing the arms forward, lacing the fingers. I'm going to press the hands away here. I'll be moving the camera up and down because once again we are in my lovely spare room. And we'll take the arms behind, I'll turn around so you can see. Pushing the arms away. Lovely. So then we're going to stretch the legs out, extend your legs away. Pressing the toes away. And then the heels, just flexing the feet. rotating the ankles, because your legs are going to work hard throughout the practice today. And back again. Lovely. Slowly bring yourself up to standing. Oh, okay. Oh, just cutting my head off. Let's go back a little bit here. That's better. So we're going to take one arm over. Let's take your straight arm, extending down that leg. Nice deep side bend here. Bringing it back up. And then the other side. Lovely. Okay. So let's move through some sun salutations here. Okay. Here we go. So bring yourself to standing towards the front of your mat. I'm going to take my socks off as well. If you haven't already, you might want to do so. Especially if you're on carpet. Okay. So bring yourself once again towards the front of your mat. We're going to take the arms up. I'll be moving the camera when we need to. So folding forwards, placing your hands on your thighs, looking forwards, and then come down with the hands down to the floor. So I'm going to bring the camera down just a little bit, so hopefully you can see the hands as well there. Okay. So folding in towards the legs, placing the hands down, and we're going to step the right foot back. We're going to come up. You might want to adjust your balance here. Warrior one. Taking the hands down, either side of that front foot. Left foot goes back into downward facing dog. Pressing the glutes up. Moving the feet a little if you like, so they are more hip width apart. And coming forward into plank, engaging the core and the glutes. Here, if you want, you may drop your knees and rest the tops of the feet on the floor. And then come down, and then up into Cobra. Lovely. Then we're going to send the glutes back. I'm going to have a couple of breaths in child's pose here. Then when you feel ready, come on forwards, back into tabletop, tuck the toes under. Then back we go into downward facing dog. And if you like, you might want to stretch out the back of the legs, just lifting the heels and lowering them. Then your options here, you can lower that right knee and step the foot forward, the left foot forward, to come up into your lunge here. So this is option one. Option two, look towards the front of the mat and step through with that left foot. Keeping it raised, keeping the right knee raised or lowering it, and then coming up into your lunge here. Option 3. Left foot comes off into three-legged dog. Bringing it through, lifting the knee, hugging it more into the upper body, and then coming up into your Warrior 1 lunge here. And taking the hands down when you feel ready. So however you feel fit to bring that foot through, choose your way of doing so today. Then stepping forward with your right foot and slowly bringing yourself back up to standing. Excuse me, top my belly in. Taking the arms up, little back bend here, and we're going to repeat on the other side. So folding forwards, hands to shins. Yes, I am very close to my wardrobe. Okay, folding down, hands to the floor. Left foot goes back into your lovely Warrior 1 lunge here. Folding forwards, right foot back. Again, you can walk the heels. Taking the time you need. If you need to spend longer here, feel free to do so. Otherwise, coming forwards into plank, lowering the knees if you like. If you want to, let's come down through Chaturanga, keeping the elbows close to the ribs. Lowering down, feet into the tops of the feet, into your mat. Into Cobra. Couple breaths here, feeling the nice stretch throughout the body here. Then we're coming back into Child's Pose. I'm going to come forward into tabletop, tuck those toes under, back into downward facing dog. For probably the last time in this class today. Choosing your options again from either left knee down, right foot forward, swinging the leg through, or taking your right foot up into three-legged dog, hugging it in, and then coming up. At any point you can drop that left knee. Lovely, fingers down, either side of those front toes. Stepping through. And then we're going to come up, 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 up. Arms up to the sides. Hands together at the top. Excuse me. And then down to your heart. Lovely. So now we are going to come through some more standing poses. We're going to start with pendulum or ragdoll. We're going to come into Warrior 3. We're also going to move into Revolve Triangle and High Lunge with breath. Let's start with those. We have got a couple more after that, but let's start with the ragdoll pendulum. So, I'm going to take the arms up, fold forward, and just let the arms relax. Let your neck relax and your head. Let your arms hang in front of the body. I'm going to turn around so hopefully, oops, you can see what's going on. And if it feels right for you, taking your hands over to one side. And this will just wake up the hips and your obliques a little bit. And then we're going to come back the other way. And we'll do this 3 more times. This is number 2. And 1 more. Lovely, and then back to neutral, back to the middle. And then if you like, either slowly rolling up, we're going to bend the knees and slightly more energetically bringing the arms up towards the sky. And then down to the heart. From here, we're going to move into Warrior 3. So let's start with the right foot at the back. I'm moving a little bit further back on the mat, excuse my inability to speak once again. And we're going to spring off the back foot. You might want to extend your hands. They could be touching something for a little bit of stability. You might like to bring them to your heart, or you might simply want to extend your arms away. So whatever feels right for you. So taking that back foot off the floor, engaging the core muscles, activating that diaphragm and the solar plexus area. Ooh. And when you feel ready, come on down. And we're going to go on the other side now. So, right foot forward. And gently come off that back foot. So the left foot comes off. Choosing what you feel is right to do with your arms. You might want to take a mudra here, locking the fingers, extending, excuse my balance there, extending your index fingers, whatever feels most appropriate for you. This is your yoga, your expression of the pose. Lovely, and come on out when you feel ready. So now we are moving into reverse warrior with rotation, and then we're going to do revolve triangle. Okay, so right foot back at 45 degrees. I'm going to turn round, otherwise I'm going to be facing away from you. Okay, so taking the feet as far apart as feels right for you. So, standard reverse warrior. Your right hand just above the back of that right knee. Moving the front foot, so your left foot forward, to increase the intensity of the stretch. And then we're looking up at that top hand. To add the revolution, so taking that hand just slightly further on the inside of the leg, taking the arm back, and we're looking towards that back foot there. Oh, you're getting a little bit of a twist around this lovely area here that we're trying to wake up. And come on out. Okay, so I'm going to rotate my feet. and we're going to revolved reverse warrior on the other side. So sticking here with standard if you prefer, or taking that little twist. Lovely, a couple of breaths here. We've got one more standing pose after this, and then we're moving down to the floor. Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to rotate the feet. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to do this so that you can see Revolve Triangle properly. So triangle, feet in the warrior position, excuse me, back foot 45 degrees. So ordinarily we'd have that front knee bent and this front arm coming down inside the leg. However, this is slightly different. Feel free, if revolved triangle is not for you, to take standard triangle. I'm going to move that front foot further over on the mat. So your knee is inside. We're trying not to press on the leg, extending that arm, that left arm up to the sky. Left foot is the front foot right now. This is quite tricky, I've got to be honest. Feel free when you feel ready to come out. Okay, so I'm setting up on the other side. I'm going to turn around as well. So hopefully I'm not facing away from you. Okay. Right, getting my foot positioning right. You might want to have a slightly shorter gap between your legs for this one. So taking that revolution here, if you feel right doing so. Coming out when you feel ready. That is enough for me. Balance is not great for me. Everyone's different. Every day is different. Okay, so we're coming down now into a high lunge twist with prayer pose. So before we come down to the floor properly, let's do one more standing. So, finding your lunge position, hands together on the inside of that top thigh. Back heel lifted if you like. There's absolutely no shame in falling out of the pose. Getting yourself back into it and trying again is what makes a yogi, really, in my eyes. When you've had enough, come on out. We're going to swap feet. So lunge position. Okay. So we're rotating in towards the leg. Oh, excuse me. Lovely. Then now we're going to come down to the floor. Okay. So let's start with some got a nice few flows, little sequences here. Okay, So starting off with some boat. Ow! Oh, excuse my wrist there. Boat pose. We've got a nice little flow here. So, option 1. Toes on the floor, knees bent, heels off. Core is active. Arms parallel with the legs. Option 2. Feet off the floor, toes pointed, slightly bending backwards. Option 3. Hanging on to those big toes. So first 2 fingers hooked around your big toes. Then we are straightening the legs. Option 4. Just above the knee. Okay. So finding your boat, whatever feels appropriate for you today. Then we're going to straighten the legs and come in. One more here. Lovely. I'm going to hang on to those toes, straighten up, and then bring the toes down to the floor. And go this one again. Slowly down to the floor with the toes. One more. And down to the floor. Lovely. One more little sequence. So come on over here. Nice little twist. And then I'm going to turn around. Oh, excuse me. Gaining my balance again. Twisting back. And one more. Lovely, your feet down. That's pretty intense stuff. So if you've given that a go, that's really, really good. Okay, so now we are coming into Warrior 2, but we're kneeling here. Okay. So, one knee in front of the other, arms out in front of you and behind you at shoulder level. This is quite a nice change, isn't it? I quite like this one. Looking over those front fingers here. Lovely. And after 3 or 4 breaths, if you'd like to bring that down, then we're going to swap knees. So that right leg now goes back, or the left leg. I'm going to turn around. Sorry, being left-handed, I very often do things slightly back to front. So, there we go. Looking out over those front fingertips. After this, we're moving into a lovely little child's pose flow, and I think we've got a tabletop one as well. So arms out at shoulder level here, core active and stabilising the body. And down. Lovely. So next we are coming into let's do that child's pose flow. Okay. So we're going to start in tabletop. So knees are hip width apart. Weight is forward. If this is too much pressure on your wrists, send the glutes back a little bit, ease the pressure through the wrists there. So then we're going to send the sit bones back, send the glutes back. Then we're going to scoop the body along the floor, come back up. Having a breath or so in every stage of this little flow. So coming from tabletop into child's pose, forearms down to the floor, scooping the body, strengthening up through the arms, back into child's pose. In child's pose you can allow the upper forearms and the hands to relax a little bit. We'll do one more after this here. And then we're going to walk the hands in. So we're coming into sitting, and then we're going to move into a nice little seated cat and cow. Okay, so I'm going to be turning sideways and forwards for you so you can hopefully see what's going on at every point. So, I'm going to start with hands on the knees. Take a deep breath in. Rolling forwards with the body and back. Scooping forwards and rolling back. So breathing in, going forwards. Back. Pushing up through the knees. If you want to add that lion's breath in like we did last time, you might find that nice. I'm going to turn sideways on. Do two more here. One more. And then we're coming into a nice forward fold. Lovely. So extending the legs away here. And we're coming into knee to head. So let's start with the left side. So bending the knee, bringing it really close to the upper body, allowing your forehead to rest on the knee. Slowly extending the leg. Where you feel the body, the upper body pull away from your knee is where you stop. You may be up here and just allowing your head to rest, and that's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Or you may be all the way down here. I can't get my knee completely flat. Remembering once again that everybody is different. We're all built a little bit differently. Lots of people will be able to get their legs flat. I never will. And I'm okay with that. Slowly coming up, lifting the upper body off. Okay, then we're going to move on to the right side here. Okay, so left leg extends away, forehead to right knee. Very slowly, using our hands if you like, to help. And after 4 or 5 breaths, come on up. Lovely. Now we're going to move down onto our front and move through some prone poses. Okay, so some of them we've done during the class already. We're going to go through them again. Okay, so here we go. We are going to start with some planks. Okay, so forearm plank. Options: number 1, fingers laced together, core active, pelvic floor active. 2, resting the knees and the tops of the feet on the floor. So here we are. If you don't want to take your knees off the floor, or you can't, stay here, making sure that everything inside is active and working. Level 2, we're lifting those knees. So from here, you can come up, if you like, into a full plank. If full plank is not for you, staying in forearm plank, or just, down on all fours. And we're going to bring the knee to the elbow. Extend the leg away. We'll do one more on this side. Placing the foot down, knees down. And we'll have a couple of breaths in child's pose, because plank gets really intense really quickly. And then when you feel ready, let's move on to the other side. So up we come, sending that weight forward once again, knee to elbow, extending back. One more. Lovely, knees down, back into child's pose. Good. Okay, so now let's come down into Cobra. From plank, just lower the hips. Just have a couple of breaths, excuse me, lying on the floor here. Hands under the shoulders, elbows close to your ribs. And then when you feel ready, pressing through the hands, looking out and up. Good. Okay. Then slowly lowering down. We're going to place the hands stacked in front of the body here. You can rest your hands on them, head on them if you want. Dear, I am muddling my words today, never mind. So we're going to move now into Locust. Okay. So this particular variation, you can keep your hands on the floor. Option 1, pressing one knee into the floor and the hips on that side. Lifting that leg, lifting the other leg up into the sky for a nice single leg locust here. Option 2, lifting the same leg, but then with your other leg, placing your foot just above the knee to support the leg in the air. So coming down, and then we're going to do the other side. So, one leg on its own, or other leg supporting, whatever feels right for you. Slowly lowering down, and down, and down. Good. Allow yourself to have a couple of breaths, resting your head on your hands. We are now moving into bow. And then I believe we are on to our supine poses. Right on time. Okay. So, that lovely yoga strap again. If you don't have one of these handy, you can use a belt, as long as not maybe a leather one. That might cut into your skin. It might not be very comfortable. So make sure it's a nice little fabric one or something like that. So, option 1, single leg. So lifting, so a bit like we did just now. Pressing the opposite hip and knee into the floor, just lifting one leg there. Side 2, option 2, here we go. So, you can use the ends of your trousers, or this is where you can use a lovely little prop, like so. Putting it round the ankle, throwing it over your shoulder, grabbing hold of both ends, and just lifting here. Okay? So, that is another option for you. Trying not to injure yourself, obviously. Option 3, hand over the top of the foot. Outside edge to inside. Both feet if you like. You can do this single leg as well, it's up to you how you choose to do it. Lifting the head, pressing the feet into the hands. Breathing. Don't forget to breathe, I know this feels intense. This will massage the front of the body, including that lovely solar plexus area. When you feel ready, release and relax. Okay, let me just see where we are now. We don't have many left at all. We've done quite a lot of those actually already. So let's now move on to our back into a lovely supine position. We have one more pose in supine, and then I'm going to take you through hopefully a nice relaxation, if I can speak. And just do some little breath work at the end. Okay, so finding yourself a comfortable position on your back. I'm going to take my hair out this bun because although it's neat and it stops it getting in the way, I can't really put my head on the floor. Okay, so we're going to bring one leg in, hugging the knee, just below the knee, shoulders back and down. If this is not possible or comfortable for you, you might want to hug underneath the knee. If you feel your hips are particularly tight, you might want to take it out to the side and hug it in around the ribs a little bit. Whatever feels better for you. Releasing the fingers, slowly lowering the leg down to the floor. Other side now, bring that leg up and in. And when you've had enough there, slowly release the leg. Now we're going to use the hands to lower it back down. Allow the legs to relax out to the side. Your hands can be either laying palms facing up by your sides, or just resting on top of the body, allowing you to focus your attention on the solar plexus. You might be able to feel some warmth being generated, some heat from your body. I'm not going to speak for too long during this relaxation, but first of all, we're just going to focus on the breath. Slowly breathing in through the nose for 2 or 3. Pausing at the top, so once your lungs are full, and then a nice slow exhale, so breathing out for double the amount of time you breathed in. So if you breathed in for 2, we breathe out for 4. With practice, the time of your inhale and exhale may increase. So let's just bring your attention to your body. Notice how it feels. If you feel at all uncomfortable, make any adjustments you need to ensure that you no longer feel uncomfortable. Focus our attention on the solar plexus area right now. Being aware of any sounds around us, acknowledging them, but not letting them interfere with your focus on your body right now. Going to visualize a flame in your abdominal area, as you breathe in, the flame extends upwards. And as we breathe out, it shrinks a little bit, but it moves outwards. So it's warming the entire abdominal area. It's warming the solar plexus, firing it up, stimulating it. And as you breathe in and out, imagine your entire abdominal area is filled with a bright, warm yellow glow. Now this yellow glow is radiating from your solar plexus, filling your body with its warmth and light, like your internal sunshine. Remembering it is responsible for joy, your self-esteem, looking after your confidence, and the sense of being at peace with yourself. So this lovely internal yellow glow, feeling it radiating out of the body, all the way up and down the body, covering you in a beautiful sunshiny blanket. I'm going to stay here in this yellow glow for a few more breaths. And very slowly we're going to start to get some movement into the body. We're going to wriggle the fingers and wriggle the toes. And then we're going to move onto one side and slowly, with your eyes still closed, bring yourself back up to sitting. So keeping that breathing going, we're going to sit the body nice and tall, spine long, head tall. Placing the hands on the knees. We're going to do one last thing with our eyes still closed before we finish up for the day. Something that may help your solar plexus. Some breath of fire. It has been a while since I've done this. Breathe in. All your breaths are going to be quite short and sharp. And then breathe out. So breathing all the way into the lungs. You might want to place your hands around the lungs. Breathing in and out through the nose. We'll do 2 more. And then allow the hands to return to the knees. And your breathing to return to normal. Breath of fire is very invigorating, I've got to say. So we're going to let the head fall gently towards the front of the body. Opening your eyes really gently, allowing yourself time to adjust to the light in the room. So, once you feel ready, we're going to take one hand down to the floor, lowering the forearm if you like. I'm going to take a nice stretch across the top of the body here. Pushing off and up, and we'll come over to the other side here. So now you're going to place the hands back on the knees, rolling the shoulders forwards and then backwards. Lovely. Bring one arm over the front. Switching sides. Place one hand on top of the head and gently taking it over towards the shoulder. And while we're doing these final releases here, I'd like you to pay attention to how your body feels at this precise moment. Noticing any differences. Head back to neutral and other side. Any differences from before you started your practice today? I'd like you to thank yourself for showing up for you today, giving yourself this time and this practice and sharing it with me. Head back to neutral. Going to lower down, feeling a nice release and stretch through the sides of the neck and down across the shoulders. And up. One more. Left to right. Neutral. I'm going to put my hands together and I'll say thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this useful and beneficial. I will see you again for a class focusing on the heart chakra very soon. Namaste. Bye for now.